Alright, welcome to Checker Context. Now in this tutorial I'll be showing us how to prepare rate analysis for Blockworks. Right, in part 1 we did foundation and excavation works. Part 2 we did concrete works, and this is part 3. we'll be looking at block works. And basically we have different sizes of blocks. It could be 9 inches, it could be 6 inches, it could be 4 inches, and there are even smaller blocks now. So our 9 inches blocks are the normal 225 blocks, which could be solid, could be hollow, or could be filled solid, like filled with weak concrete. Now we have the 6 inches block, which is the 150 mm block. We have the 4 inches block, which are the 100 mm blocks. Alright, so this we'll be looking at block work, and we'll be looking at when it is filled solid. When it is filled solid, right? And 225 mm size block, that's in 9 inches. Now in 1 square meter of block work we have 10 blocks. All right, I'll try to be as fast as I can. We have 10 blocks. Now how is it 10 blocks? This is a block here. I made a sketch of a block here on this particular sheet. Right, the length here is 450, the width is 225, the height also is 225. If it is a 150 mm block, that is 6 inches, it is still 450 length. It is now here will be 150. See my cursor here, 150, but the height remains the same, 225. So please let us take note. All right, now the area of one block is 450 by 225. Right, so 1 divided by the area of one block, you are going to have 10 blocks. Now this is what I have here. All right, for ease, this is an area of one block, 450 by 225. This is 225 divided by 1000. You have 0.23. Right, to 2 decimal places. So 1 divided by this, you are going to have 10 blocks. So you can actually work it out and confirm in the comment section. Right, the volume of mortar in 1 square meter of block work is 0.024. Now the volume of concrete, weak concrete, in this hollow field is 0.09. That is where we actually treated that. Now you can see them here. All right, let me quickly take us through. Now blocks are meant to sit on the mortar. Right, then you shock them. Is that the right or shock? Shock. Okay, you shock them at the side. All right, okay. All right, now this here will sit on the mortar, this will sit on the mortar, the same thing here, and the other and the back side. All right, that is what I have here. 450, 450, 225, 225, then the middle also 225. All right, that is what we have here. 450, 450, this length and the other at the back. Then 225, 225, this and this other side, and the last 225 at the middle. That is where you are going to have the mortar for the block to sit on. All right, so this is one. The distance from here to the hollow is 150, 150. This middle also is 150. While the hollow itself is 150 by 225, 150 mm by 225 mm. All right, so this is 1.58 by 0.0, which is 50, right, by 0.13. All right, then also the same thing for the shock in the side. This is 225 by 225, right, by the thickness. Now the thickness of mortar can either be, for shocking, can either be 10 mm, between 10 mm and 20 mm, depending on what you want to use. So in this case I used 13 mm. That is why I see 0.013 here. 13 divided by 1000. Now I have it for this one and for two sides, this side and this side. I multiply by 2 here. I arrive at this. And if I sum this up for one block, it is 0.0024. 1 square meter has 10 blocks. So I multiply by 10. So I arrive at this. Now for the filled solid, this is 150 by 125. Now see, the depth of this filled solid is 225 mm. Alright, that is what you have there. Alright, so this is 150. That's 150 divided by 1000. This is 125 divided by 1000. And this is 0.23. 225 divided by 1000. So there are 2 hollow fields. I multiply by 2. Alright, for 1, then for 10, I have this. This is this. That will have 0.0, and that we have 0.024 here. Alright, I hope that is clear. Now, for block work, we have 1:6, cement and sand. Ratio 1:6. Sum of ratio is 7. We already know the volume of mortar for 1 square meter, which is 0.024. Now, in our previous video, we've learned how to calculate the number of bags. All right, the volume of 1 square meter times the weight, the dry mix, 28.8 bags, of course, by the total ratio. That's what we have here. So we have 0.138 baht. The same thing also for the sand, 0.08 or 5 ton, which is this. All right. The hollow fill is made of usually weak concrete, 1:4:8. Some of ratio is this. The same thing we are going to do. We already know the volume of the fill. All right. So that is what we have here. We already know the volume of the fill. So this times that give me this number for cement. Then the same thing goes for the sand, which is this. All right. So that's the fine aggregate. All right. This is has the 4. Then same thing goes for the granite. Granite is usually twice the sand, like we learned. All right. Now if we take this summary, which is what I have here, it is for cement. We have one for the mortar mix, we have one for the weak concrete, which is this. Then we have that of the fine aggregate, which is the sand, that one for the mortar, then the other for the weak concrete. Then we have the granite only, that's the quartz aggregate for only the weak concrete, which is what we have here. Now prices differ from place to place, please take note. So this is a guide. What happens, the price in your place determines what your rate is going to come out at. All right, now 225 block 670, recent market survey, a bag of cement 758,000. Now 30 tons of sand, sharp sand 210. For 1 ton it is 7,000. Now for quartz aggregate granite 480. For 1 ton it is 16,000. So we come to the rate analysis. Now you have the material. Remember I said rate analysis involves material, labor, profit and overhead. Then when you use plant and machinery also, you have to include them. So the material first. Now 1 square meter we have 10 blocks at 670 is this. Right now we have the cement, then the sand, then the quartz aggregate that was used for the weak concrete. We already have the 0.417, right, bag of cement at 8,000 per bag. We arrive at this. The same thing, this ton of sand at 7,000. We have this ton of quartz aggregate at 16,000. We have this, and this is what we have here. All right. Okay. Then the laying of the block, it differs from place to place. Please take note. Now 1 block is laid at 130 naira per block. For 10 block, which is 1 square meter, it is 1,300. Right. So we sum both material and labor. Right. That gives me this. So we add withholding tax, then we add profit and overhead, then we arrive at 16,016 naira 67 kobo for hollow filled blocks. What if the blocks are just hollow, they are not filled? Hollow blocks, it is still the same thing, the same process, just that this one will not have the weak concrete filling, but the same process, the same method, the same 0.024 cubic meter per square meter like we calculated before, the same 10 blocks in 1 square meter like we calculated before, the same way we calculated the cement, the same way we calculated the sand. All right, now the price is the same, it remains the same. Now if we come to the analysis, 1 block is 670. For 1 square meter, which is 10 block, it is 6,700. Cement, this is 0.318 as calculated. All right, so at 8,000. Now the sand also at 7,000 per ton. All right, we have this as the material. Then of course, because it is not fuel solid, it to lay each is 120 naira per block. So for 10 block, which is 1 square meter, it is 1,200. So the summary of material and labor is this. Then we add withholding tax, we add profit and overhead, and it can also see add profit and overhead 25%, or profit and overhead 20%, or 15%. All right. So it don't say you will not show it that you have to add withholding tax. It may or may not be shown. Please take note of that. And the same thing happens for the 150 block. Same process, the same way, the same method to arrive at the rate now, because the block now changes 620 naira instead of 670 as at before. For the 225, cement remains the same, the sand remains the same. Now same thing when it goes to 100 block, same method, the same process. All right, so this is basically how you prepare the rate analysis for block work anywhere in the world. The only difference, the only discrepancy is the currency. All right, and their labor rates in that particular country. It can be applied anywhere in the world. I hope this adds value to you both academically and in your professional career. If you are yet to subscribe to Chakaquantics, please do. There are more and more and more educative content on the way. It is Chakaquantics once again. I'll see you in the next video.